The Academy of Natural Philosophy. The chief scientific authority in the Empire of the Isles, it brings together the best and brightest minds from each nation, dedicated to scholarship and innovation in every subject imaginable. It's also elitist, exclusive, and secretive, with nearby residents knowing nothing of its doings beyond the crates of materials delivered to back doors and frequent foul smells. It was founded in 1572 by Erasmus Kulik on the outskirts of Dunwall, decades before the War of Four Crowns would make the city the capital of a unified empire. Its mission, in addition to scholarship, is to train the next generation of the world's scientists, or natural philosophers, to use the antique term. It functions as both teaching university and research institute. As of 1837, the seal of the Academy, or perhaps just the cartography department, is a sextant over a circular grid with a crown on top. This can be seen stamped on a world map from that time, and a larger version is visible on the Russian version of the Dishonored fandom wiki. Later documents show a different design featuring two snakes in front of some abstract scrollwork, harpoon, and leaves. The Academy is located at 15 Oxblood Way, not to be confused with Blood Ox Way, where Griff's Curio Shop is located. The Academy District is far downriver from most of Dunwall, near the Port Authority and Embassy Row. The Stacks neighborhood is exclusively housing for Academy scholars. This location kept the Academy relatively protected from the worst of the rat plague, and few people were allowed in or out except for essential deliveries. Tivian brandy, for example. The Academy seems to be dominated by one primary building whose architecture consists of columns and Gothic arches, and an outer square with a bronze statue of Erasmus Kulik. Immediately inside is an entrance hall 3 or 4 stories high, with elaborate stairways leading up and to the sides, and a whale skeleton suspended from a vaulted ceiling high overhead. Although this is the Academy's primary location, there is at least one regional campus in Karnaca, and likely elsewhere. The Academy accepts very few students each year, and in addition to considering only the brightest candidates, a prospective student must endure a long and laborious application process. The registrar opens only once a year on the 4th of harvest, when hopefuls must apply for an initial interview to declare their ability and intended area of study. Only those chosen from this pool are allowed to then submit a formal application for admission in the following year. Even after all this, it seems absurdly easy to get expelled. All areas of inquiry are pursued at the Academy: alchemy, engineering, anatomy, including vivisection and medicine, nature, astrology, cartography, and many other disciplines. The equipment and materials for these studies are financed by taxes, and even clerks in procurement positions exert a great deal of power, able to divert resources as they will. Other non-academic positions include porters and provisioners. Within the Academy, there are various departments with different structures and names: the Alchemical Council, the Electromagnetism Council, the Convocation of Etiology, the Chamber of Smoke and Iron, the Guild of Metallurgy, and so on. This implies that individual departments are allowed to structure and run their own affairs as they see fit. For decisions affecting the entire institution, there is a ruling council of 7, including the foremost natural philosophers of the Empire, plus the head of the Academy. They meet in a special octagonal room at an octagonal table. Most scholars of the Academy wear black robes, while council members wear gray with black sleeve bands. The head of the Academy wears an elaborate robe with celestial patterns embroidered in gold needlework. The Academy grants degrees to those who satisfy all requirements, with different departments having specific trials which candidates must pass. These often have esoteric-sounding names like the Test of Transit Encoding, the Signaling Defense, Trials of Mineralogy, and the 4 Forgotten Scrutinies. Many notable members and ex-members of the Academy are encountered or referred to in Dishonored. Foremost, of course, is Anton Sokolov. He was already a renowned painter as a young man, but his partnership with Esmond Roseborough in 1820 to develop whale oil technologies cemented his legacy as a great scientific mind, and he became head of the Academy 2 years later. During the rat plague, his work eventually led to a cure, but at the cost of grotesque experiments on innocent people. In 1849, Hieronymus Finch became head of the Academy. Roseborough himself saw his ideas rejected by the Academy and other scientific institutions as a young man. It's not clear whether he was expelled or he left voluntarily. It was only during a period of poverty, when he saw raw whale oil being used by the riverbank mudlarks to stoke fires for warmth, that he made his fortune, ushering in the whale oil industrial revolution. Dr. Luigi Galvani was once a member of the Academy, and foolishly used the date of his pivotal meeting with Sokolov as the combination to his safe, no matter how many times he got robbed because of it. He was a vivisectionist, experimenting on animals while still alive. This somehow led to his leaving the Academy and continuing his studies privately in secret rooms. This is puzzling, since vivisection is one of the explicitly stated areas of Academy study. It may be some aspect of his methods were found distasteful. Whatever the reason, by 1837 he uses his connections with the procurement clerk Artemis Moore to send him materials for his work. William Trimble, the geezer's nurse, was a student there, but he got into a fierce rivalry with Piero Joplin over aspects of preservation of mortifying tissue. This escalated to a pistol duel in which neither man was able to hit the other, despite multiple shots. A coin toss settled the matter, and Trimble left. Piero was the youngest ever admitted to the Academy, but was expelled when he came into conflict with Sokolov. The cause of this rift isn't known, but given Sokolov's ego, it's likely his dismissal was an excuse to remove a potential rival. As a survivor of college, grad school, and postdoc, I can say that this is not at all an unreasonable, unrealistic scenario. After the plague and reconciliation with Sokolov, Piero was readmitted as a teacher. Kirin Jindosh was recognized early on as a genius, developing fantastical machines that not even his professors understood. But his utter lack of ethics was likely a cause of his downfall. For reasons that are still unknown, he was expelled as well. He keeps his expulsion document as a source of pride. He allied with Duke Luca to obtain, among other things, live subjects for his experiments, and is fascinated with the moment of their death. So the exact nature of his expulsion is perhaps best left to the imagination. Alexandria Hypatia studied under Piero Joplin, and after graduating as a doctor of medicine in 1838, converted Adermeyer from a rich spa getaway into an infectious disease research institute. Bartholomeus Vasco graduated at the top of his class and was recruited to be Hypatia's assistant. The outsider cultist Malchiodi spent his youth at the Academy, though nothing specific is known. One member we only read about is Douglas Church, who studied whales in their natural habitat using a diving bell, and wrote the book The Deep Watchers. Rather than dying during a diving bell accident as the book implies, he is alive and well in Dunwall as of 1849. Finally, Dowd spent a winter at the Academy in his younger days. He presumably studied alchemy, anatomy, the occult, other subjects useful to an assassin, but did not stay long enough to earn a degree, nor did he ever intend to. The Academy of Natural Philosophy is a breeding ground for the finest minds in the Empire, and has led to incredible inventions. But insulation from the rest of society tends also to breed callous disregard for human or other life in pursuit of knowledge. It's furthermore an echo chamber for massive egos that lead to driving away some of their brightest for petty reasons. Like many organizations in Dishonored, if not careful, its greatest strengths could eventually lead to its downfall.